Welcome back to the Content Complete podcast. Feature myself, Spencer, my co-host Matt,
Yo.
and my other co-host Fiskcake.
Hey.
And it's been a while. Last time we did this, we did a discussion about Resident Evil Village, and we're basically going to stick it to discussing video games that we played recently. We're not going to be doing, crazy news topics or anything like that. We just have a lot of games we've been playing for a while, and I wanted to talk about them. So, Fiskcake, why don't you start us off?
Yes, this is a video game podcast. It's if you've heard one, this is
You've
another
heard 'em
one.
all.
But
Hey, three white dudes making a
that's how I
difference.
advertise it in some Discords. I was like, hey, listen, I know, I get it, but if you haven't had enough of dudes talking about video games, you guys should come hang out tonight.
If you haven't yet hit that wall.
Yeah, we got the bearded guy. We got the funny guy. We got the mad guy. Oh, it's funny that he's two people in one. That's me.
I'm just the guy.
You're here.
I got Oh, God. Oh, boy. But yes, it has been a while. I'm excited to talk about video games with you guys again. Such as, but not limited to, let's see.
Let me look at my list.
My two games. No, I'm trying to think of which one will probably. We'll just start with Guilty Gear because fighting games. It's hot, it's wild. Everybody's popping off. But yeah. So Guilty Gear Strive is the newest Guilty Gear game made by Arc System Works, creators of Dragon Ball Fighters, Blaze Blue. I think
most
off the top of my head.
anime fighters.
Most anime fighters. Pretty much, if you've seen one anime fighter, most likely it's from an Arc System game. And yeah, it's so how do I want to start this? Because I love it. It's a very fun. The fighting game itself is a lot of fun, but everything getting to fighting people online, like pretty much everything besides like the actual fighting of people in the game, is stupid and or not good. Bad decisions or just poorly implemented for the most part. Main menu. So first off, it takes like 10 minutes to start the game because for some reason it takes 10 minutes for it to communicate with the server. And just to start the game, this is not even to play online specifically.
Oh, Jesus.
You just start the game and it's like Guilty Gear Strive. You press X and then it literally takes like, depending on what system you have, like on the PlayStation, I think like 5 or 10 minutes to actually get the game up and running. There's memes going around where people will be like, you can like finish a Sonic Generations level before Guilty Gear boots up, and what they'll do is like have the Guilty Gear loading screen somewhere, and then somebody will play whatever they're doing. And yeah, I think one was like a literal speed run, but I can't remember which game or whatever. But
You're like, dude, I could fit a whole speed run in this. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they need to work on that too. But
is this one of those situations where the start of the load is really long, but then once it's like loaded, it's like good, or is it just a long load at the beginning and it's also just kind of slow?
That depends on what system you have. For me, I have on the base PlayStation 4 and on the PC, and both initial loadings are fucking long as shit. It's not, you can't do anything about it. That I don't know why it's so long, but like on the PC version, like the loading of matches themselves are actually quite fast. Versus on like the PlayStation 4 where you get to hear like the whole song before you fight somebody.
Nice. It's a feature.
Yeah. You get to listen to a song. No, it's actually not that bad, but it is quite noticeable. But either way, they're not as long as the initial loading screen, so that's cool. For some reason, ArcSys just can't they can't just make a very simple lobby where it's easy for you to find people to play with. They're the innovators of making sure that you have to have like an avatar, a profile, and then you have to load into like some 3D space to actually fight people if you want to. Like I
Can
play.
you use PlayStation VR as your avatar just for that part of the game, and then you take it off and you play it and you actually do the match? Like that's the only extra thing I can think of that would make that more complicated.
They haven't done that yet, but please, we have to delete this VOD because I don't want them to get ideas, and I need you to shut the fuck up. I need you to not suggest stuff like that because they will do that. They will do that for the next game. I swear to God. Like with Dragon Ball Fighters, it was fine. Like it was kind of like a little chaos, but like the platform was small. It was just that circular shape,
Right.
and from the circle you could like go off to other areas. And if you wanted to play people in a lobby, you can make a ring match. That's fine. It was okay. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus was one. The online was terrible, so I never really played a whole lot of it. But basically, every single lobby was a airship with like 60 arcade machines on them.
Oh yeah.
And you would just sit down on an arcade machine, and that's how you would play against somebody else. They would sit on the other side of the arcade machine. And it was like, well, that's like a basic lobby system with like very high detailed, but like very few extra steps. I don't know why that was even part of the thing.
Right.
With this, the park system is not bad. It's just weird. In the first beta, they didn't have these things called dual stations, where basically, how do I do this? It's been a while since I've talked about video games in the podcast form, so I'm trying to.
How do I organize thoughts?
Compartmentalize. Oh my God. So currently there are dual stations in the game where basically you can like walk up to a clearly determined station where you will sit there and somebody can ready up to fight against you, or they can just walk up to you and fight you. Before, in the first beta of the game, that wasn't there. There was just empty spaces, and you had to guess what was going on. I shit you not. You had to like. I remember trying to play with somebody from one of the other Discords I hang out on, and it was just a nightmare to try to play against them because we couldn't figure it out. Because like he would like be in one spot, and I thought I would be in like the proper area to challenge him. But I wasn't. Like I was like too far away, or I wasn't close enough, or something, and it was just a nightmare to get it started. Jesus. So they're like, and so everybody's like, Ark says, please stop with the lobby. We hate the lobby system. It's terrible. Can we get something simpler? And they're like, we hear you. We added dueling stations, so now there's places you can go to fight people. And they're like, well, this is not what we asked for, but thanks. I think I don't know. That's fine.
It seems like they have this need to create an in-world representation of starting a match with someone. Like you can't just do a matchmaking screen and then you just fight the next guy that the computer finds, right? You have to like be quote in person with the person to have a match. Is that the case?
Yes.
For, like, almost
the
all
only time
games.
for like pretty much the entire thing, you can go from the main menu to training mode matchmaking, which basically you can train in a space while it automatically finds people to fight you. But if it's kind of weird because sometimes the people that they'll find for you will never ready up. Like you'll hit ready and you're waiting for the other person to ready up, and you're like, oh, okay, well, let's cancel this and wait again.
Oh, that's kind of annoying.
And then it'll load up the same person again, and then you go through that same song and dance like 2 or 3 more times before you're like, fuck it, I'll just go to a lobby because then I can switch between who I have a choice to fight. The only reason why I think they would want you to have like avatars and have this whole lobby system is that maybe, and this is like pure speculation, is to drive up DLC sales because they're going to have like new fighters come in. And I don't know if the fighters' costumes will be available to everybody or if you have to have the fighter to have their costume, you know?
Mm.
So maybe they're thinking like, well, if this person comes up with the fucking Gold Lewis outfit and somebody sees like, oh shit, that guy's fly. Let me see what he's got. He's got that Gold Lewis outfit. All right,
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I'll buy a Gold Lewis. That's the only reason why I think they are so invested in this. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. But that's all like the downsides of the game. The actual playing, like the actual matches are perfect. Like it's the best. It's like the best it's ever been. Like once you actually are in a fight with somebody, it's like, oh my god. It's like I'm playing. I'm like right there with them. Unless
Really?
like,
Wow.
Rollback.
unless like the ping is super bad. Oh, sorry.
I was saying rollback.
Yep, it's got the rollback, baby. Um, and with the rollback, it just basically means that if there's like some ping or whatever, it's fine. And if there's like a huge amount of ping, what it'll do is like uh basically kind of course correct what your opponent is doing. And it's a little jarring if it's super bad, but most like 95 to 90% of the fights I was in were perfectly fine. If the ping was super bad, we would just like stop play, or we would just not rematch and be like, all right, well, it's not on the cards today. We'll
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
fight again some other time.
yeah. The great thing about rollback is when you have a bad connection, it's really obvious. Like,
Mm.
I know in a lot of other fighting games, like back in the day, or even just like shooting games or whatever, sometimes something would be happening on your screen that would just not exist on the other person's screen.
Yeah. Oh
Which
yeah.
is like, I would much rather have things be janky a little bit or whatever than be like living a different life or existence or while I'm trying to fight
Oh
someone.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, like in other older games, yeah, you would like be fighting, like you said, two completely different fights. Currently, Tekken 7, which has rollback.
Quotes.
Quotes. According to Harada, he put rollback in the game. Uh what they're dealing with now is like complete desyncs. Whereas like people will be fighting, like you said, two completely different games. And sometimes we'll even have completely different outcomes. It's ridiculous.
My God, I could both win and lose.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really fucky for tournaments and shit. But so Strive though, if the rollback, I mean, what the rollback allows you to like at least finish the match before you're like, okay, this is not. We shouldn't fight. Let's call it a day and go our separate ways. And the other thing I want to highly praise is the actual ranking system because I think they finally figured it out. I think they finally figured out like the perfect way to kind of rank people. Um, what it is it like you have a 10 floor tower,
Okay.
and then from there, sorry.
I was just saying, okay. So yeah.
Oh, sorry. You're right. No, it's sorry. So it's like a 10 floor tower, and you can always fight people in floors above you. But if you're ranked for a certain floor, like say you're ranked floor 5, you can't go below floor 5. So you
Okay.
can't like fucking beat on little baby guys in like floors 1 through 4. If you're feeling like, oh man, the floor 6 guys are just too much. I need an ego boost. I'm gonna go beat up scrubs. No, you gotta learn the game, dude. Sorry. Um, which I think is actually like a really, really cool feature because it makes stuff like that makes sense to me. Like basically a way where you can always fight above your weight class, but you can't like punch down on people, you know?
Right.
The park system where you can basically it's like a free for all. Nothing you can really do about that, but it does show you like what skill level everybody is before you start a fight. Yada yada yada. And worst case scenario, if you're getting beaten to death, like the matches are like maybe 5 minutes long altogether, and that's if you're having like a really good fight.
Gotcha.
So if you get like completely destroyed, you're like, well, whatever. Not going to ruin my entire night. That was like,
Next. Yeah.
yep, 3 seconds of my life gone. Oh no, too bad. Um, after floor 10, like you can go to like the celestial floor, which I haven't even been to. I'm not that good, you know.
What
Not
floor are you
yet.
on?
I'm hovering floor 9 and 10. I can't
Wow.
beat the ceiling, but I'm trying, goddamn.
Let me into heaven.
Exactly. I want to fight with all the other heaven people. Oh god. But if I ever get there, I'll give you all an update as to what that is like. But from what I understand, once you get to the celestial floor, you have to keep winning. Like you can only lose 2 times in a row, 2 or 3 times in a row, and then you're booted back down to floor 10, and you have to like fight your way back up to the celestial floor or whatever.
Oh, the old
But
Lucifer
also,
clause.
The old Lucifer clause.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like, that's why God kicked Lucifer out, because he just wasn't good enough at
Lost 3 times against Michael. Can't be doing that.
fighting. You gotta learn the mix-up, Lucifer. Come on, gotta watch out for his zoning. If you win enough in the celestial floor, you become what I think is a VIP player, which I think you have like more leeway to like lose fights and whatnot because you've just won so many times there. They're like, okay, well, you belong up here, so we're not gonna like keep you on the like match to match basis or whatever.
Jesus tier. I got you.
Yeah, the Jesus tier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually a pretty good
VIP
way to
Jesus.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a really good way to delineate between power levels, right? Because like even if the meta gets better and better in a year, and somebody who had played for a while and was a solid 10 and maybe was celestial a couple of times, and then they take a break and come back to the game, although by that time I'm sure a new Guilty Gear would be out by then, but but and the meta got better, it would be very obvious, like the difference in skill.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
I can clearly just like visualize the floor system. It's not bad. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's like it's the weird part. Like they've done like 2 really cool things, and then like the rest of the game is fucking stupid. It's pretty much. Oh, I mean, the avatar creation thing is like okay, but like interacting with the lobby whatsoever and all that stuff is just pure plain annoying. But other than that, it's a very fun fighting game. It's very simple. The trying to think like who the most complicated character would be. I think it's just Zato, because he has like a little demon guy that you have to also kind of keep track of.
Gotcha.
Zato and no, yeah, I don't want to get lost in the weeds, but yeah, I would say he's like the most complicated guy. But like each character has like maybe the most moves I think are like 10 or 12 moves or whatever, which for fighting games is like holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of fighting games are like, all right, you can do this one move, which then can go into these 13 different sub moves that changes the way that move works.
Yeah,
so memorize all that.
Yeah, and then also the angle of your stick changes all those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, all right, you gotta make sure you're aiming in the right direction. Oh no, okay, you're doing a completely different move now.
Yeah.
Wowie. But it also has some fucking Tekken. 100+ moves each character. And you gotta learn it. You have to.
Would you say that would you say that limiting the amount of moves that it has compared to other games like it or whatever gives more capability to mix things up and be more creative about it, and less spreadsheet like chart like some games can get?
I think it's too early to tell.
I think it's too early to tell.
Mostly, yeah, what Matt just said. I think it's people are still figuring shit out.
Souls busted.
Don't worry.
I've been on Twitter.
I was about to say, that's pretty. If you've been on Twitter for 5 seconds, and even if like you looked at like, if you searched Guilty Gear and you just went down the timeline for like a minute, you would see Souls busted, May's dolphin is stupid, and
May
every other
super cheese. You're bad if you play May. You're just gonna
Primal
dolphin me
Fall
out or
fucking
some
sucks.
shit.
You're just gonna dolphin me out.
All right, only the real ones play Chip.
Right, yeah.
And the one lady with the lion or wolf thing. They're the
Oh,
only honest
yeah.
characters. You play Potemkin. He's a fucking gimmick. You're also fucking bad. I've been there. I've seen it. I know.
It's I mean, you got it pretty much like down pat. Yeah, that's literally what is the Twitter of Guilty Gear Strive is. My character is fine, but every other character I fight against is bullshit, and I fucking hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you like venture off and play those characters sometimes, whenever you're playing those characters, all the other characters are fucking bullshit, and they fucking suck.
Well, because you don't do the bullshit stuff when you play the character, right? Right, you play the character the way it's supposed to be played. They're playing it shitty.
Yeah, it's like when I play Fox and you play Fox.
Right, I play Fox shitty. Yeah, but somehow I still get kills. Because I'm so you know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Up air.
You're like the Deadpool. You're like, oh my god, I'm so wacky. I'm just throwing everybody off.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Go ahead. No,
you go.
Okay. No, all right. I was gonna say I don't know if that's the reason why every other character is bullshit. I have experienced this as you know. I play Potemkin, but I mess around with other characters. I don't get as upset anymore, but there were some salty nights. I'm like, oh, this is fucking stupid. Why are you allowed to throw so many fucking dolphins my way? Oh, thank you for pushing me into the corner. I can't get out. I don't know what the fuck to do.
And they're over there going like, oh, fucking gimmick didn't work, did it, bitch? You fat bitch. Didn't work, did you? Can't throw me. Do fucking 3/4 of my health in one throw. Bitch ass gimmick. Dumbass. Bullshit character.
Grapplers. Fucking hate grapplers. God. No, it's only going to get worse with the new character. Oh, I'm all blurry.
Yeah, you're like way out of focus. What is it even looking at?
Did I do anything?
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. We're back.
We're back.
Okay. Fucking, I need to. I hate working or like messing with the webcam because every time I do, it just crashes. So I don't think I can even like adjust the autofocus without it like decreasing my frame rate by like half. And I'm just like a choppy character. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's a fun game, and it's I think it's right now is probably if you want to play is the best time to play it. But that's just because every fighting game, like the first year or so, is usually the best time to play them because everybody's learning,
right?
And not everybody has spent, like 100 years practicing their character, and when they fight people online, they have no sense of like, well, this person clearly is below my skill level. But instead of like playing at their level, I'm just going to destroy them with a 99 hit combo and
gotta practice those 99 hits, dude.
I'm playing against professionals every day. I don't care if you're a child or if you're just bad at the game. I'm going to have to grind you into dust too. I'm sorry.
Tekken.
Those are just the rules. Yeah, fucking Tekken.
Fucking Tekken.
Fucking Skullgirls too, but no. Well. Yeah, the new DLC is supposed to come out pretty soon. Like the next fighter is supposed to come out sometime in July, allegedly.
And a big balance patch or whatever, right?
I think that's in the work. Yeah, they everybody's screaming for a balance patch. I don't know when they're going to release the balance patch, but yeah.
Fucking Soul's busted. What do you mean Sonic Fox won with not Soul? He won with that other priest character.
It doesn't matter what game it is. I feel like that's the same argument everyone makes all the goddamn time about good characters in games. They're like, oh, this character's fucking broken, and then the guy known for playing the character ends up winning like a tournament or some match without the character, but people just ignore it.
I mean, Sonic Fox isn't known to be playing that character.
No, I was just saying, like, it just sounds like...
That's definitely an MK Leo thing.
Yeah.
MK Leo did that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, another funny thing is before the character that Sonic Fox plays, Leo, he was like pronounced dead before the game came out because they released they released Strive on like the Japanese arcade cabinets, and they were like, "Oh my god!" They changed one thing with him, and they're like, "Oh my fucking god, Leo is dead. They killed my boy. Nobody can play Leo."
Mm-hmm.
And then if you watch, right, and if you watch Levo,
yeah,
fucking Sonic Fox was just wiping the floor with Leo by literally going 100% all the time.
Yeah,
It's just like, holy shit.
Literally made it look easy. I watched the grand finals with that, and I don't know who he was fighting. Some other big name. Switched to, I think, Pumpkin Man. Punchy Pumpkin. Potemkin.
Oh, Potemkin. Okay.
Yeah.
And then just got fucking obliterated. Just destroyed. And then he switched back to his main. Oh, gimmick didn't work.
You didn't grab me. Sucks for you. Yeah, no, I think that's it for me with Guilty Gear Strive. I just recommend everybody should go play it. It's cool. It's fun. If you're willing to go through all the lobby stuff, which is, not as bad. It's just, it's okay, I guess, at best. But but the actual fighting's fun, and I recommend that everybody should try it out. Get on sale or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, it sounds fun. I think it's one of those games like, but I like fighting games in like the idea of it and like playing it for the first few hours for most fighting games. And I think what that comes down to is when I was young and I would go to like an arcade and you only get like 20 minutes with Tekken or something, or like or Soul Calibur. So I have a ton of fun just like trying to figure out like the one or two things I can use and then just have fun with that, like techniques or whatever. But I haven't really sat down and just learned a fighting game besides like Melee or something.
We're good.
Is it falling on you?
Yeah, it's falling on me as part of the problem.
Oh no. Yeah, but I haven't really sat down and just like played a fighting game besides like Melee or something like that.
Since Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Since Dragon Ball FighterZ, yeah.
And you were the worst out of the three of us.
I was not that good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I was honestly completely distracted by the green screen.
I got
thing,
you.
But,
yeah, I think my main thing is I don't do any solo practice. But
no, I think your main thing is you're like, what works? I'm just going to do that. And then you strive to be mediocre for the rest of your life. Right? Like, there is no drive to be like, I want to figure out why this is working. It's just like, this works in this moment. I'm just going to do that. And it's such a fucking not the way you should try to learn fighting games. It's so fucking bad.
I mean, to be fair, I hate like hanging out in the training area myself. I like.
I'm not saying you have to do a training. I'm not saying do solo practice. I'm saying while you're playing somebody, try to actively learn.
Well, yeah,
does not do that.
No, I just play. Yeah, I'm not saying it's good. Like, I agree with you. You're correct.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like I'm already kind of flying by the seat of my pants, like, and a lot of times it comes down to I don't really understand how I'm doing the thing I'm doing, and I think like, to be completely honest, sometimes it's just I don't want to take time to learn something or whatever. I just want to like get back into the game because I'm like with someone most of the time. I'm never like by myself where I can just feel comfortable just taking like the moments to do something. When we're just like trying a game out, for some reason my brain can't do that at the same time. Like, I need to like take time separately to like do it, and so I just kind of, I'm gonna try to learn something that doesn't just totally embarrass me, so I'm not just losing the whole time. But then it ends up happening in the end, anyways. But yeah, I think that's just
one trick pony.
Yeah.
What you gotta do is you gotta learn those 1 tricks, and then you just add like another trick the next time that you do, and then eventually you'll be a 10-trick pony, which is like the maximum level pony in Guilty Gear Strive.
I have 9 mix-ups at any time.
Yeah.
I know I have 10 moves and I know 9 of them, so you better watch your ass, tough guy. No, like I've been playing with a guy from another Discord, like once a week, and we play for like an hour, probably have like 30 to 40 matches. He'll win a handful of them, but yeah, just what he does is just he just tries different things until it works. I'm like, oh hell yeah, you did a good job. Now I'm gonna do something different because the same combos I've been doing hasn't worked on, or just now didn't work on you. So it's time to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, no, I get that. Like you just want to press buttons and have fun, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If you keep asking questions, I'll talk about this game all night. So please, you guys should.
No, yeah, no, I got you. No, I mean, it's one of those situations where now I kind of like want to try the game, but I'm not sure I'll actually put the time into it. So.
Well, you talk to me after this. We'll maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah, I think mainly it's just when someone else is just playing something they're really enjoying it. Like I want to like share that, you know. So I'm like, oh shit, well Fisky's having fun with this game, you know. It'd be cool to play as well, but that goes with like any game.
But yeah, true.
Yeah, Matt. Moving on to a different topic or game. Did you have anything specific you wanted to?
Me, or we talk about all of Fiskcakes yet?
Oh, I wasn't sure if we were just going to be taking turns.
Oh, well, let's take turns because I die if I talk for too long. I'm already halfway through my water, so please, please give me a break for the love of God. Please.
Something that we just played, or we can talk about something that all of us have played.
Like, what have we all played?
Snick.
Oh, SNKRX.
Yeah.
Snickers.
Why is it SNKRX? Is that because they're all like pills? They look like pills?
No, I don't know. Anyways, it's a good game.
Yeah. So we're all playing this game called SNKRX, SNKRX, and it's like essentially kind of a top-down. It looks like you're playing the game Snake, but each part of the snake is like a different unit that you can upgrade or switch out, and you choose as you go, so it gets longer. And then you have to survive rounds against various, blobs and bits of enemies, and it's a lot of fun. And Matt's really good at it. You've basically beaten the game, right?
Yeah, I've done
multiple times.
Well, yeah, I've gotten all the way to the top of the new games. It goes up to new game +5, so I beat that, and then I looped that 4 times.
Jesus,
because I accidentally broke the game.
Was that the one that you sent me the picture where you're like, did I just break the game?
Yeah, I had 1500 gold. So
Jesus.
and it wasn't even like a good build. Like obviously it was good, but it wasn't like a straight, whatever. It
wasn't one of my best builds.
It was definitely super weird.
Right. Yeah, because like there's strategies, and like you're kind of better rewarded as you going with something very specific and strong versus trying to make it like too much of a variety. But you were saying that one was kind of a variety of things, which doesn't like compute with what usually works. But you were just killing it.
Yeah, it was super nice.
Now that you've done that though, is there a limit to the amount of items you can get? Because
you can only have 8.
And can you switch them out ever, or is
you have to sell them before you.
Oh, okay.
Or you get to the thing.
I forget that you can just sell items. Because I rarely get to 8 items. I've never gotten to New Game +1. So
same.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's a fun game. I like how visually it's almost nothing, but the names of the characters and stuff like that, and just like the one thing that they do like fills out all the gaps in your brain. And so you're like, oh yeah, man, I got like a witch and a soldier, and like I don't know, it's just fun. It's like it's like a fun little brain tickle of a game. It It's challenging.
And the music slaps
enough.
too.
Yeah, the music's pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're coming out with a roguelite mode soon with progression and all sorts of other stuff.
That'd be cool. Yeah, because I feel like that game could do that. Where you're like, isn't this already a roguelike mode?
I'm trying to think. I was thinking about before I asked the question, but I guess it's not really a roguelike. I guess.
Well, it is, but they're gonna have it like meta progression and stuff like that.
Like how in Gungeon
like
you unlock
the
things.
Game.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. The game seems like not simple, but it seems like pretty like straightforward right now. So it seems like it would be easy for them to like build up on stuff and add stuff to it.
Yeah, they have a really good.
I think it's just genius.
Yeah, like strong base. That yeah, you're right. They can just add to that as long as they don't overbloat it. Right, you got to be careful.
Oh yeah, no,
but
don't.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite like part of the game, or like favorite build or something? Or?
It changes. I think the new psychers with the orbs are cool. I like cursors. I like nukers. I like voiders.
Voiders.
Yeah. The mages are cool. Sorcerers are cool. The only people I haven't won with are like a full party of swordsmen.
Really?
No, gotcha. The warriors.
Yeah.
I feel like you would probably need to have.
I mean, I've tried to force it like probably like 30 times or so.
Yeah.
It's tough. Especially.
Well, you had to be so close to everything, don't you? That's part of the problem.
You had to do it before New Game Plus. Probably 2 or 3. Because you just die. Like if you hit one red boy on like round or wave like, I don't know, 12, you're just dead.
That's so crazy. Yeah, it seems like with that you would really need to have particular items to make like the attacks faster. So it would be otherwise you got to get close to them, but then you got time when you get close to them. You can't just be close to them at all times. So it's either you're loitering literally inches away from them, trying to make sure that your thing hits, or you go in and like do like a drive by with the swordsman.
Yeah, there's some items that help them out, like the ones that like give them strength boost for having lower health, but
right.
I don't know if it's a feasible build at all. I've only gotten to like level 17 myself, so I have no authority to talk on it, but
I've gotten almost like I've gotten 24 out of 25. That's as far as I've gotten, and that was my first run ever. And I have I've never replicated that. But
I mean, still not bad. Almost got there.
It's hard to argue for the swordsmen and the warriors when you can just have like what is it, wizards that basically do a very similar thing, but it's ranged. Like you don't have to be right next to it.
Yeah,
it's like okay, I could do the swordsman because of the challenge, or I could just have the wizard.
Well, the trade-off is that the wizard just get.
If
they just get breathed on, they're dead.
Yeah.
Where at least the warriors, not really, like I said earlier, like New Game Plus like 3 before you just totally just start dying. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, the warriors can take like a couple more hits, but like as you said later on, even like the first run. It's like, oh, well, they can only take like 1 or 2 additional hits. They can't take much more than the mage at this point.
Yeah.
But like the first 5 levels, it's like, I'll just run into everybody. Who gives a fuck? Boop, 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 boop. But after that, it's like, oh, Jesus, he looked at me and now I'm dead. Ugh.
I think that's one thing that, like, I don't know if they should change how that works, because in a way, it's kind of fun to have that trial and error where you just have to kind of like intuit about how far you are and about how strong you think things are going to be, because there's no stats that they give you for how strong the enemies are before you go in, or even while you're in there. You just have to like wait till you get hit once and find out, and then after.
Well, along with that roguelite update, there's a big stats update planned as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I think receiving information will make that easier.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Because right now it's like a guessing game. Like if I have a whole team of squishy people, then I'm like, okay. I've heard people talk about the merchant level 3 having, higher base health than other shit, so I put them in front. Put a strong boy in the back. Stuff like that.
Right. Which in some ways makes the game fun, right? Because you're like, I kind of like it sometimes when a game there's a certain level of mystery, or it's all like it's rumored to be this thing, and it's hard to get that fine line of, okay, really it's just not fun because I don't know what the fuck's happening, and like, I've been able to figure it out by kind of piecing things together, and then I was still able to win, like that's like satisfying in some ways, and reminds me of like older games, which I think is probably what the initial thought is, because there's a lot of older games where they just don't tell you shit.
And really, I don't mind losing in the game either, because it's not really super long. Like, I play for a bit, and then like each round is pretty quick, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's like you can like play a few rounds. Yeah, I'm all over the place. If you just want to play a quick game, you can like play a few rounds, come back to it later, like, oh yeah, I'm on this run or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you like die on the next round from that, it's like, oh well, I'll just spend another 10 minutes or so to get back to where I was at or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless you're on like New Game 16 or whatever Matt's on, then it's probably like a different story where maybe the stakes are a little bit higher, but
yeah, a little bit.
Do you ever like really feel the pressure, or is it just kind of like, dang, I died?
I mean, I've lost runs where I had like an interesting build. Like I don't think I haven't won with the same build twice.
I mean, that's good.
I would imagine it's just hard to get the same build twice though, unless like you're really working for it.
But that's how like
you really can't force stuff. Like I'll try to force some stuff, and if my first, like, I don't know, item or relic or whatever they're called, isn't supportive of that synergy, then I'm like, all right, well, this run's dead.
Yeah.
I'll just try do something, or I'll try to pivot. But
I feel like that's a and I'm only pulling because I know Matt lore, but I feel like that's a thought process that you've cultivated ever since like back in the day when everyone used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, because you were telling me that your preferred deck to play with is a deck with like many small strategies in it and not one primary strategy, because you can't always trust that your primary strategy is gonna go, because you have to get the right cards for it to work, and then if you don't get the right cards, then your strategy just doesn't work. So playing a game where literally you have to just kind of like come up with a new strategy with what's in front of you every time, I feel like that just kind of works for you. I think it's an interesting observation.
I would agree. That has a big appeal for me. But yeah, I don't know how many hours I put in. Let me check. 17.
Oh, okay.
And then on the phone, I've definitely probably put in like another 10.
Yeah. I think I probably
that's the cool thing.
A few.
I don't know if we mentioned this, that it's on Steam and on your mobile devices, Android and iPhones.
Is it the same price on everything?
Yeah,
it's only $4 on Android, I think, or $3 or whatever.
Yeah, it was $4 on the iPhone too, but how much? It was also like $4 here, right?
Yeah.
So like it doesn't matter where you go.
It's $3.
It's $3 on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's cheap and it's available,
and it's very good.
Yeah, it like at first glance it's just a bunch of ovals shooting other ovals at each other while one big snake oval moves around in circles. But it really is satisfying to play.
Oh yeah, no, it's
like, one of those games where all the little parts make it interesting when it all comes together. You know.
Like if
it's
you watch,
made by one dude.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I mean that's nice.
That's pretty sick.
He just put out a blog post the other day, and these are like fucking dissertations of stats that he's accumulated from Steam. When Northern Lion played it, he has all the stats, all the data correlated to like how many sales he got because of him, You know how the Twitch audience and the YouTube audience, how they buy games, and like all sorts of other just tons and tons of shit.
That's cool.
He talks about all the updates and everything that's happening, why he thinks is succeeding. Pretty good shit. I like reading it.
Yeah, I find that stuff interesting too. Just to kind of hear the thought process, especially since he has so much information and is kind of talking about, why it's working, why people like the game.
I think going for him is the price of the game, because usually when you see these indie games, it goes either way. It's either slightly cheaper than you think it was, or it's it's a bit more than you were willing to pay for originally.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's literally $3 or $4. You're like, well, that's fine. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. I'll pick that up. No big deal.
It honestly
I'll buy
feels
10. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. it feels like a good price for the game too.
I would go $4.99.
You go $4.99?
I would, I would honestly buy it for $5 or $10, but
yeah,
for it being even cheaper than that, it's whoa, that's pretty good.
Is it still going to be $3 after he adds in all the other stuff too?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
He's already he tells you exactly how much money he's made.
He's already made a livable wage.
He's made $96,000 in the first month or something like that it was out because of Northernlion and all the other people.
Yeah. It's 2 years minimum wage. It was more than 2 years minimum wage.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah. I think in his news when he was talking about how sales had slowed and then correlated it with the updates, and also dude's
really smart.
He's just he just gives you all the information. So if you ever want to know how any of that Steam backend stuff worked, it's very interesting seeing that kind of insight.
It gives me the vibe.
It makes sense that he's very stats oriented. If you
looking at the game, right? Yeah.
Now that you think about it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense actually.
Yeah. Like the game kind of fits the guy, right?
Cool.
Yeah. I'm
SNKRX.
Yeah, SNKRX is a good game. Fun.
Steam, Android, iOS, the other stuff. I don't know. I'm not just gonna say shit. Yeah, it's probably on the Switch. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
but it might be. The Wii. Oh yeah. Stadia. It's on Google Stadia now. It's the last game they made for Google Stadia.
Is that still happening?
Yeah.
Google Stadia exists, but they're not making any more games for it. They shut down all the
game development
studios. Yeah.
So now it's just a thing that exists.
That's all it is.
I used it 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was testing it versus xCloud.
What were your findings?
xCloud fucking sucks. Just the latency is it was fine for Fable 3, but for something more substantial the Surge, garbage.
Oh yeah.
Literally unplayable.
I mean, it's hard to stream all those 4K textures.
It doesn't stream in 4K.
Oh, it's hard to stream all those big textures.
But Stadia was good.
Yeah. Sick.
Too bad they also suck in a different way. Their technology is good. Also, GeForce Now, I've used that. It sucks. And I've done Uplay. Uplay's they have something Luna, which is Amazon's.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It also sucks.
Oh, it's a bit tricky for you guys out there, anyways, with your data caps too.
We're not capped.
We're not capped.
Oh, you're not capped. Well, never mind.
No, we have
we have unlimited.
Yeah, 600 up and down. Mm-hmm. No, not up, but down.
Yeah, 50 up or
still.
Yeah, 75 or something like that. Yeah,
more than a reasonable amount.
We would have been capped.
Stuff, so.
In fact, they tried
to
cap
capped. For the first 6 months we lived
here.
And
then I had to go and yo, can we not be capped? And they're like, you got to pay more. And I'm like, yo, you're already charging me fees for the thing the amount that I want to be using. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to go down. I'm not going to use it less. So let me pay you a little bit more a month, that will ultimately still be cheaper for me, and then we're both happy. And then now it's like way cheaper than it was. Like they're just like giving up. They're like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember when we were out there a couple of years ago or whatever, when we moved into that one apartment you guys went to. The first month or so, like we were renting from a guy, and we were not told about data caps. We were told, play or stream whatever, do whatever you want. And after the first month, the guy gets an email from them. They're like, "Hey, you're like way over your limit." I'm like, and so he would like ask us like, "Hey, why are you guys completely over this?" I'm like, "Oh, you didn't tell me there's a data cap. I've been downloading and like deleting games left and right. That's probably why. I'll cut it down a little bit, but you got
it's fucking
like,
free."
Yeah. Data caps are just not like, I've never had a data cap until I moved out there for a little bit. Like in the Midwest, it's just you get poor internet speeds, and that's the trade-off.
You like it?
Guess I don't know. Yeah, pretty much.
well, through the grapevine, it is heavily suggested that data caps only became a thing because of net neutrality issues. And then the only reason why it didn't go further is because there was a consumer backlash, and like California and New York did certain state laws that kind of
this
made
doesn't
it
really
less of a
sound
thing.
about games, so
Yeah, it's true. Sorry, but yeah. Anyways, like they tried, and then now it's like not really a thing.
It
It's
was
crazy.
a thing.
It's weird how companies try to fuck over everybody. Weird. Anyways,
Strange.
Tekken.
Oh, weird.
Tekken.
Tekken, the company.
Rollback.
Oh my god. I'm not. Never mind. I know too much stupid fighting game facts nowadays that I could talk about all this shit for hours on end. So
it's good.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Melee got rollback, I looked a lot into rollback, how it worked and stuff.
It's a phenomenon. It's good shit.
The crazy part has been around since like Xbox 360 era. That's
just like the companies just like we're like, well, this works though.
Well, with rollback, you have to design a game
like
with rollback in mind.
Yeah, you can't just like have your previous engine that's just been like,
which is what Tekken tried to do.
But yeah, they're like,
that's why their version is so bad.
And when they press live on their server, the guy did a backward somersault, and he's like, "We got a rollback," and then that's as much as they.
What's his bucket? Where's his shirt? Don't ask me for shit.
Harada, yeah. He has a YouTube series where he like has fighting game developers, commentators, and stuff that he just talks with, and that's where a lot of Tekken information comes from. And a lot of people are always like, "Oh, that explains that." Like, "Oh, that's why." Okay, but again, we can have a fighting game cast sometime if you really want to, but we can move along.
He says like, "We're not going to spend the whole time talking about fighting games. I had a whole podcast about that shit."
Right. Oh god.
All right. Well, I mean, did you have another game you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, we're switching. Days Gone. It's fine.
I saw your tweet.
No, yeah, it's.
I concur.
Yeah, that's right. Matt approved. PlayStation 4 edition. I like.
Get fine.
It's fine. It's
what's the catchphrase,
fine.
Matt? It's okay.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit better than okay.
So
it
fine.
Honestly has.
It's fine with caveats, right? Like okay is like,
I'm not.
It could be better. And here are the ways.
Okay is like you're disappointed in it.
Yeah,
like you're completely disappointed in it. Fine is like, I had some rough moments, but I actually enjoyed the experience, which is pretty much this
what it is.
Days Gone in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's not an amazing game or storyline, but there's parts of it that work, and that's cool. They have some cool like little systems with like the swarms or like the dens or whatever you go to. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. If they like cut the story like if they cut the story into a third, like if they cut a third of the story out. Because I was thinking about because I just reason why we're talking about is because I beat it literally last night.
Oh,
and,
you beat it. Nice.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. The funny thing is, the other problem I have with it is the pacing's so off. I don't even know. I didn't know I beat it until I saw the credits, and I was like, oh, this is it. Okay.
Damn, I'm good.
Because there was like a couple other spots where you thought the game would end, and you're like, oh no, there's more. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. All right.
Fellowship of the Ring syndrome is what I call that.
Is that 3?
Actually, it's Return of the King that does that, but okay.
No, it's definitely Fellowship of the Ring when they come out of the fucking hole in the ground and they're walking across the mountain. And everybody's like, "Oh, it's the end of the movie." JK, there's a 1/4 left.
That's the one that you think is crazy? Have you seen the end of Return of the King?
I've seen all of them, and I don't want to see them anymore.
30 to 45 minutes of fade to black, and then fade to white, and then fade to black. I love those movies.
Love them.
Love them.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. If they cut the story a third, like if they cut a third of the story out, and they're not. By the way, like there's no reason why I should even be talking about like what they should do for Days Gone 2 because their pitch got rejected for Days Gone 2, so I don't even know if it's going to be a thing. Because I guess
it has strong PC sales, regardless of what the director said.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
He was
like
a
I
fucking
was just
idiot.
going off it. Yeah. So let me just start from the beginning here. I got to the credits and I was like, "Is this really the end?" Because I didn't trust the game to actually end at that point. So I'm like, I'm going to look it up on Wikipedia real quick, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is the end." Blah blah blah. There's a stinger at the end of the credits. I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool, whatever." And then directly below that was like reception or whatever, or basically them talking about like how they try to pitch Days Gone 2 to Sony after the PlayStation 4 version, and Sony's like, "Nah, no, that's fine. No, thank you." But yeah, maybe with the PC sales, maybe they'll be like, "Oh, there's something here." If
maybe have another publisher or whatever.
No, Sony's not gonna. I think they're a first party developer.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the dude was like, "If you guys just bought the fucking game, then we could have a Days Gone 2." And everybody's like, "It was fine. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, it was okay. Like, you got like a 70. I kind of think you deserved a 70. Like, when we played, my fucking motorbike, my motorcycle fell through the earth."
Oh, yeah. That happened.
You know, like your cutscenes were bad. Like coming from God of War to Days Gone.
Oh, we did that, didn't we? We did. We played God of War, then we went to go play Days Gone. That's what happened.
Days Gone came out after God of War, I believe. But you're like, and it's a first-party developer, so you're like, all right, this is gonna be sick. This is gonna be cool, and it was fine.
Right.
But then the dude was a total dick.
Yeah.
So, and then he was like, all PC people, all they do is pirate the games anyway, so like, who cares? And everybody's like, shut the fuck up.
That's
just
not even
shut
the
the fuck up.
Reality is anymore. Like, pirating is so down compared to like 10 years ago. Like, more people buy games now than I think ever before. Like, because it's just harder to pirate. I think it's probably the case.
Yeah,
but,
it is not harder to pirate.
Is it not
it's easier to pirate.
Really?
Unless you have Denuvo, you're getting pirated day one. Or day zero.
I guess he was right then. Maybe I just haven't paid attention then.
No, you
haven't. Probably the case.
Fucking out your ass again, man.
I'm just, I'm just talking about my own experience through life, right? My perspective, okay? And if that's wrong, it's okay.
It's fine.
It's normally wrong.
It's fine. Look, I'm the Days Gone of people.
I'm the Days Gone of people.
Sometimes I fall through the earth, and it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't really have any technical issues except for one mission I could not get through until I had to reload the save 2 or 3 times, and then it finally was like, oh yeah, we got to do this. Okay, oh, thank you, cool. Glad you finally fucking figured it out. But
Matt, wasn't there something weird that happened with the first like areas situation, I remember there being some weirdness where you go there and it's when you're first getting the bike and you're first learning how to like upgrade the bike or fix the bike or whatever in that first little town. And there's some weird thing where you did a quest like further on than what they were expecting you to do, or you didn't. You did a quest where it didn't quite line up. Like,
yeah,
what
I broke something.
Yeah, like Matt, like sequence broke something.
Yeah,
where we arrived in a town and they weren't like ready for us in the way that it was obvious like something was wrong in the game. How did we fix that? We just go back a save, or did we like? I think we like moved on, and then it kind of like figured itself out. I don't really know what happened, but it was so weird.
Yeah,
like, and
I don't remember exactly what happened. I do remember something weird happening like that.
Yeah, with the bike scenario, like you're supposed to go into town, and then like there's this whole thing with getting the bike because you didn't have your own bike because like it breaks or whatever in a cutscene or something like that.
And then the bike you get falls through the earth.
But yeah, it was just so strange. Like, it's just I remember thinking, is there something wrong? Like, or we're just not getting what we're supposed to be doing right now? Because like a quest wouldn't proc. Like, like we were there, we had done everything we were supposed to, and then like it just wouldn't go to the next step. And that's always disorienting when that happens in a game, and you just don't expect it to happen in a game that's like released.
Yeah, no, it was it had a lot of going against it when it first came out. Video game journalists mocking the game story, and then like everybody just be like, hey, look what crazy shit I did just by playing the game. My car exploded or whatever, just like stuff like that.
Right.
I think the game crashes and stuff was justifiable, but after beating the game, I feel like people dunking on the story it's not like the best story, but it wasn't like as bad as they made it out to be either.
The first couple bit of it is really bad. Like when you're doing like the flashback scenes with the chick, and I'm like,
that shit was hilarious.
I just ship who they tell me to ship, So I'm pretty much a blank slate. I'll put up with a lot of shit, like just some dumb shit. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, but this was so painfully like we're trying to be sons of anarchy, but without any of the coolness or the goodness, or
they tried to assume swag that they didn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, this is Sons of Anarchy diet.
Yeah. like one of the first scenes, like they approach it. I think it was the very first flashback when he first meets the girl or whatever that he ends up getting a relationship with. They did that thing where they're like, okay, player, he's supposed to be really cool, so just like take my word. And then they just went with the scene, and you're like,
and I think he gets beat up.
Yeah, I think he does get beat up. He's supposed to be like this cool dude or whatever, and then he gets beat up. And then
maybe, I'm not sure.
And then he the whole flirting bit when they first like get together, and like the questions he asks her, and he like oh, obviously she's a girl, and there's this whole thing, and with riding motorcycles and stuff, like it's.
No, you're right. If they part of cutting a third out of the game is part of cutting like a third of the fucking flashbacks. There's a whole fucking town you probably don't even need to have exist. There's like just like fetch quests that you don't really have to do, because there is like the main character. I actually enjoy the main character because he does actually grow, but there is like a specific spot where he's like asshole deacon and then good deacon, because it's representative, like how you said earlier, you did like a quest out of order. I did a quest like after beating the game that was like that I think originated in the asshole deacon era.
Yeah.
So like,
that was it. Like, where he has total tonal shifts, where he's like a nice guy and then a total fucking dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that happening like a bunch.
Yeah. Which was also a gripe we had with Cyberpunk too. They had that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Cyberpunk. That makes sense, because like when you play through the story, he does like gradually grow, but like as you said and what I just said, the side missions, there are definitely like asshole deacon period and like, oh, I'm just a fucking guy, deacon. An asshole deacon's like, yeah, I guess I'll go kill these fucking assholes for you, I guess, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's like sarcastic yes from Fallout 4.
Exactly. Yeah. And then like normal deacons like, yeah, I'll get those guys, no problem. Yeah, it's just helping out society that we have now, whatever. No big deal.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely remember the tonal shifts that he took.
Also, and maybe you can illuminate this for me because it's been such a long time since we played the game. There's a moment in the storyline where you're building up like there's a goal the whole time of you and your buddy or whatever, who's I think hurt for most of it, are like, okay, if you just rest it off, we'll get on the bikes or whatever, and we'll like head to this specific place. Like we have like a specific goal in mind, right? And you get to a point in the game where it feels like you're about to leave the area you're in, and then you like don't really leave the area you're in. Like they come up with a reason to make you stick around in the same general map. And that was the moment where I was like, they could have done that better. Like there's a legitimate like obvious line where the writing was like, oh, well, actually no, you're not gonna leave. Let's just throw a situation at them that's like, oh, whoopsie, you got to stay and do this other thing now, like this other quest or whatever.
What happens is that Boozer gets his arm burnt, and then like he gets infected and just gets worse. So you go to like a camp that you were originally kicked out of, and you're like you're right in the fact that like they did kind of quit. They wanted to go north because there was something up north that they wanted to do, and originally didn't make sense for them to like completely abandon that because you got Boozer's arm fixed up for the most part, not to get into super spoilers for anybody, but and then you're just fine with that. You're just fine with working at the camp or whatever, and then something happens like a hard reason for you to not even do that plan anymore, and you decide to go south instead.
To the desert.
Yeah, you guys keep saying desert, and I don't.
No, Matt says desert. I don't remember after that.
There's definitely a deserty savanna place,
like a drier, more
Let me
open
check.
zone.
Are you talking about the hot springs area, like the northwest area?
No, it's like a desert. 1 second. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna look up to see if there's a picture.
I don't really remember what happens after what you were saying, where it's like you're in the town and then something happens and you have to like switch up plans. I just remember like all of a sudden it's like they're about to do the plan. And then something
maybe it's more arid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, desert's a strong word. Like they're like the southern area is like like you go through like the winter area and then it's like muddier and like not as
like dingy.
Not as foresty.
Oh shit,
but yeah,
there's an interactive map.
Dude, I love Map Genie. That's
fun.
This is the one that yeah. Look up Map Genie 4 Days Gone. You can like just pull up the whole interactive map for it. This is what I use for Ghosts of Tsushima.
Nice.
Stuff. You can just deselect all the dots if you want to get rid of it all. So the top should be deselect all right there. All right, so where
That's one thing I'll praise about the game is that it does have a very cool map, like a very good map system.
We never made it to Snowland.
Did we really not make it that far? I feel like we played like a lot of the game. That was another thing. It felt like we were getting somewhere, and then I was like, oh, there's more.
No, I mean, I think that was
it
mostly me being like, I want to collect all
this
stuff.
Because you did like every tiny little thing, which is like
if there's a little blip on the map, I went to it.
Yeah, every.
I mean, this is pretty deserty.
That's zooming in like on a very yellow part of the map.
I don't like. I just don't know.
So what you're saying is, when you think of desert, you think of
Arizona,
like literally like sand, dirt, saguaro cactus, like.
When I think of desert, I think of a desert. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, but like
this is definitely desert.
There's levels to deserts,
light.
Dude. Okay. This looks like a pretty hot place where the grass has a hard time growing.
There is no grass here.
God. Map Genie, what is the fucking Map Genie?
Here, I can give you a link.
No, I got it. Just like tell me.
What are the coordinates?
North,
Okay.
northwest, south, southeast. What is southwest?
It's definitely left.
So if you go to the top right, and then you head, yeah, you're at the top, to top, Matt.
Yeah.
And then you kind of be in the middle, and then like to the left, it's like really yellowish.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. I guess
it's kind of deserty.
Look, it looks really more deserty if you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying now. It's I think just for me, it was just so close to all the other forest stuff. I didn't really.
It didn't feel like you were in a desert. Yeah,
and plus that's like where the hot springs is, which is the town I think they could have completely removed and been fine with, because it's not like you do like 2 or 3 things for them and then it's just all whatever. Oh, do you want to help out with these like borderline slavers? I'd probably not, huh? I don't know. But so yeah, okay, and I get what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about the very south part of the map where there is like less foresty stuff and it's more like just other kinds of stuff. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. I will say though, the very simple kind of circle of events where you get like a quest and you go and you gotta go take out like a nest or whatever, and then you have to like problem solve the nest a little bit, like how am I gonna take out this nest, and then clearing it up and picking up all the looting everything out of that little dungeon. It's like kind of like a dungeon aesthetic to it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. What makes it fine is that it has cool ideas, some cool ideas.
Yeah.
I think if they got rid of the director because he's a huge douche.
Yeah, I think he's got it anyways, because I think he got like fucking basically fired halfway through the thing anyways.
I think if they drop the Sons of Anarchy angle, or at least either didn't half-ass it.
To me, a big signifier of that is that they're trying to be Sons of Anarchy. They tried to have some like biker Sons of Anarchy vibes, but there's just like it's just 2 guys. And I think that's the main thing. They like the main character and his friend or whatever. They weren't part of like an existing like biker thing. They were just like 2 guys who were bikers.
I mean, no, they were part of a gang.
Were they part of a gang?
Yeah,
I don't remember any of that.
They were part. It's in the flashback.
Oh, it's just in the flashback.
With the girl at the flowers, where you're picking the flowers.
I got you.
They're like the last 2. Well, yeah, they're the last 2 left.
The last 2 bikers. Okay.
But
yeah,
and then plus, was his buckets like in bed for ever? So you don't even get like.
Oh, the camaraderie thing? Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like there's a whole bit in the beginning where you're like, yeah, man, no, I'm gonna bring you back supplies. You're gonna get better. It's fine. I'll support you because you're my friend, right? And then like you're like, all right, sick. I can't wait until we help him. And then
I'll be back in about a week. I got a lot of things to do.
Yeah. I remember you were running past him because you didn't want to. You don't want to move forward the storyline just yet, so he was just there being like, yeah, I'm doing my best, my arm's still fucked up, but I'm hanging in there. Like, yeah, all right, man, you hang in there. Anyways, I gotta go over here and do this thing. But like, you never got that camaraderie, like buddy cop vibe. Maybe it happens later on, but like it felt like they were teasing it, and then it's just like they were putting it off a lot.
See, I've never watched Sons of Anarchy, so I have no problems with it.
I haven't really watched it either, but
I've seen every episode.
Yeah, I've seen some episodes. I really haven't seen.
But they definitely, I think the vibe is fine. It's just that like they kind of set it up for like, oh yeah, you're a biker, and maybe there's like other bikers or whatever, but there's like no real like the other bikers are just other people with bikes. There's like you guys are like literally the 2 last quote unquote bikers of like
maybe that's what it was. Is they set it up like there was going to be bikers, and then there just wasn't. Yeah.
Maybe it would be cool if like you could have like a posse or something like that.
Because like I think I was like based on how the beginning of the game worked out, I thought that it was going to be more like bikers with zombies.
Well,
a little bit more.
We'll just play it. We'll just beat it.
Okay. We'll just play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up. I thought it took me a lot longer, but I've only clocked in about 40 hours, so it's really it just feels longer. And to add to your point about like you wanting to do all the side stuff before progressing in the story, that makes sense because all the side stuff is a lot more fun than doing anything in the story, because the story is usually like 90% fetch quests, whereas like all the side stuff's like it's fetch quests, but you can kind of like do it in your own way. You don't have to go through this angle. You don't have
There's
to
like the when you first see
NPC.
like the big, like
The horde.
not the horde, like the big mutant.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You have to like crouch around and tail those scientists.
Oh yeah.
I failed that like 3 times because it's like they're getting too far ahead. I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm right here.
I remember that. That was.
I didn't even have a bike because it fell through the earth.
That was during our lack of a bike era. It was rough.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I would. I'm not gonna say rush to go beat Days Gone, but if you want to and if you have the time for it, go for it. But it's definitely like one of those games that I kind of was like, it's my evening game. I'm gonna play it. Probably do like 30. Clear out a few hordes, clear out a few nests, and then do like 2 or 3 story quests before I'm like, Jesus Christ. Okay, no, I just want to kill more zombies quicker, please. Can I just go kill them now? But yeah, I think honestly, I think it's a good replacement for the Assassin's Creed game. It's just like it's different. It's fresh.
That controlled open worlds kind of vibe.
Yeah, like you have a bunch of side shit to do. Like, like the giant open world game where there's 30 billion fucking things to do because they think that you have to have like
30 billion fucking things to do.
Yeah. Maximize your purchase or whatever. Spend all your whole dollar. But like this one's actually like fun to do all the side stuff. It's all the story stuff and whatnot. It's like, okay, this is whatever. I want to kill more dudes, please. This is boring.
Right. I will say, I feel like mainly the reason why the game.
I mean, we got to move on from Days Gone.
I was just gonna say, it having a bad.
That's about to be gone.
When it first came out,
it was buggy.
Well, not that it was just buggy, but there was also a lot of other zombie games coming out too.
No, there weren't.
Well, you had like State of Decay, and you had it felt like there was almost a little bit of an oversaturation of zombie games. By the time it came out, we'd already had like a bunch of zombie survival games, like within the few years just before that. So when it came out, I could
see it being on the tail end of that.
It was definitely. Yeah. Everybody was like, "Why are you making a zombie game?"
Yeah,
that was like 3 years ago. What are you doing? There wasn't a cavalcade of fucking zombie games concentrated around Days Gone's launch.
No, yeah, that's not. Yeah, sorry, my brain is compressed all that time together. But yeah, it's kind of what I meant. Where it's like a bunch of a few higher ones came out that were okay and weren't that great, and then like okay, now you're making another zombie game after a couple of years, and it's like, yeah. I feel like that kind of lent into it, but. Okay, well, Matt, did you want to talk about Ratchet and Clank?
Yo, Ratchet and Clank is real good.
Game is.
That's what I've heard. I've heard nothing but good
really
stuff about it.
Yeah, they know exactly what the player is expecting when it comes to just the overall game experience and the package of I'm gonna play this and beat the game. Where it's almost like when they made the game, they're like, I don't know, they just really like respect your interest in time and because like we platinumed it on our first playthrough and like we were capable of doing that and like with like limited looking up, like it was you just play the game fully where you look at everything and try to figure everything out, then you're gonna beat the game and unlock everything, like it just rewards you for that, and I thought that was cool.
Well, that's because like they add like all the hidden stuff to the map, right? Like they add like a lot of quality of life stuff to make it easier for people to just like play the game. No? Oh.
No, you don't get the map unlock until like the second to last level.
Yeah. So you can go back and do everything.
Yeah, you can go back.
Yeah, and that's the way that the first game was too, or at least the remake of it was, where you can go through the whole game, miss a bunch of shit probably, but then you can get that thing and then go back to all the previous levels and redo it. But we didn't have to do that, except for like 1 or 2 things. But I think mostly it was like to do an achievement. There was an achievement for just doing 5 tricks on like the rail slides, like doing like tricks on the rail slide, which is just pressing X again after jumping or something, right? That Matt hadn't done the entire fucking game.
It was like one of the last achievements, like
it was like second to last or
like second to last or third to last.
And it was only because we're like, oh shit, well if we get all the achievements then we platinum, so might as well go back and do that real quick. And there's not like a ton of rails parts, but there's like a not insignificant amount of time of chances for that to happen, and you just didn't want to do tricks, I guess, because like you only had to do 5 and Matt had done like 2 or 1.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, do they do anything besides be cool?
It's just be cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just
I can see like doing it like twice or 3 times and be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, well, because granted, most of the time you're on it, you're trying to dodge shit and survive. Because in the first game they had like a racing slide part of the game. In this game they didn't have that, so all the times you were on the on the rails, it was like shit was going down, and you had to like focus on not running into a train or some shit. So I feel like that probably lent it to it, because in the other one you had the competition portion of it where you got extra points when you did them. And that just wasn't here in the first game, in the remake. But no, it was a fun game.
Just fun.
Yeah,
Rivet,
which is like Ratchet's counterpart.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Ratchet, great. Ratchet is voiced by Titus.
I did learn that, from some podcast. Somebody said that.
It was about like halfway through. I'm like, that's fucking Titus.
Yeah.
Because he just said some shit that Titus would say.
He laughed like an asshole for 5
minutes. And like,
minutes,
I knew he was Titus the whole time, but I'm like, now all I can hear is fucking Titus.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story, the graphics are fucking nuts.
Yeah, the graphics are really good.
Yeah, we were running performance with RTX, so that's 60 at like downscaled 4K. I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of Digital Foundry videos about it.
Matt's like, I'm just gonna do the one that looks really good.
We could have gone to 30 and then like 4K with RTX, but I was like, I don't want to do 30.
I want 60. I want the frames.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm not excited about for the next generation. For me personally, is to like do the research to figure out which version should I play that looks best for me. Do I want this but has this, or do that? Whatever.
I mean, it's like playing on a PC Lite. Although I guess with a PC, once you know your settings, you just know them. You're like, if you can play one game on Ultra, you can probably play another one on Ultra or very high. And so you just kind of like, yeah. And also most games.
Also, there's a lot of generalized things, right?
Right.
Like, you know what AA is. You know what all this other shit is.
That's true. Yeah.
When it comes to like the PlayStation ones, they're like, do you want performance with Ultra RTX, or do you want?
Yeah.
There's no general naming convention yet. Just name the shit all the same stuff, so I can just pick the same one every time.
Just call it what it is on the PC. I mean, like that's what I know.
What would you do? Yeah, like I know generally like to pick medium or high on most things on the PC, but yeah, from what you're saying, like performance mode 60 versus cinematic mode 30 versus ultra high definition 4K, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for that, but I'm glad that you guys get to figure that out and test all that shit out. By the time I get one, they'll be all ironed out, and I'll be like,
well,
reaping all the benefits with no work.
100% sure that everything's just gonna. I think they'll drop the 4K 30 once people like start working on, third-party games and all this other shit
and everything.
Because once you start optimizing, like.
Yeah,
it's just like with every console. Like the last games in the console always look the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
But no, I mean Ratchet and Clank. It's like playing,
a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like playing a Pixar movie. Like when it comes to storyline and like the characters and the wittiness and like the banter and stuff like that. And there's some like good jokes where it's like, oh shit, that's funny. But it's it's not like overly adult necessarily, but it's like it's clever.
Well, hold on. Let me ask something. Are there actually good jokes in there?
There are. Yeah. I didn't laugh as much as Spencer did.
Right.
But it's definitely. It wasn't annoying.
Gotcha.
There was no jokes where I'm like, all right, I just got to uninstall.
Right.
I'm end it all.
Yeah. And they actually managed to have a lot of like differing characters with what you would think would be potentially slightly annoying personalities, because you know how every game always has that like really kind of annoying character. But they were just on the edge of that, where it was still like entertaining, where you didn't.
They didn't overstay their welcome.
Yeah, like the characters that did have that extra bit of spice, they like knew when to use it and then just like make it go away. I think the only time where it was potentially a little bit like, okay, I would rather this not be a thing, was there's, I think it's Zircon Jr.
Oh yeah.
Who so there's this thing in the games called Zircon where they're like it's like a through line for all the shops where you upgrade your things or you buy stuff for your weapons and things like that. And in this game there's a Miss Zircon that you can find, and they're like robots you can go up to in every area. Well, there's a Zircon Jr. that's supposedly like her son, and he does all the voicing for all the announcing of the arena stuff that you do. And so for every like arena match you do, where it's like a challenge mode kind of, and you do like bronze, silver, and gold, and you get,
there's like 5 to like 7 different rounds in each cup.
Yeah, in each cup there's like 5 to 7 different rounds where there's different like challenges there. You fight different groupings of enemies and with different. Sometimes they'll limit you to like one weapon or whatever, and that's fun. And we did a ton of that. And even like repeated a bunch of them to farm resources, because one of them happened to give you a lot of rare titanium or whatever. But the announcer for that is the guy who voice acted Invader Zim.
Oh, okay.
And I fucking hate Invader.
Matt despises Invader Zim. And so it was just like it was okay. It wasn't as bad as or as obnoxious as Invader Zim can be, right? But the whole time I'm just like I'm okay with it, and sometimes it gets a little annoying because his voice, he really goes for it. He just sells it. He's like this announcer with Invader Zim's voice. You can just imagine how like hyped he can get, And I'm just saying like, oh man, I hope this doesn't sour it for Matt, because he really just does not like Invader Zim. But
and it's the same voice.
It's basically the same voice, yeah. Which is hilarious because it's been like 25 years or something. Like it's been a long time. I mean, not quite 25 years, but it's been a long time. It's like
I hold a grudge.
Yeah, but no, the pacing of the game was really good. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask what made it a 9 out of 10. I was just curious as to like what knocked it down a peg from it being a perfect game for you.
Oh.
I don't know.
Or if there was like a general feel of like, oh, this is just.
Oh well, there was like a couple things that were annoying.
Oh yeah.
So it tells you, it lets you know how many collectibles are on the map. When you, or on the planet when you get there. So it'll be like, there's 3 golden nuts here. And then there's like, there's 2 spy bots. But it doesn't tell you when those are gated behind story. So I spent like a good hour and a half scouring a planet trying to find this fucking golden nut. And it's just not possible.
Yeah. The game doesn't mention anywhere that there are times where you can't just get everything in the first go.
Yeah.
But it tells you the maximum amount as if it's all available to you. It's just like they're on the map. It's just like a number out of the total. That's all the information it gives you. And there's, I think, 2 or 3 planets you go to where you can get up to until like the last one of each of them or something. And then you have to
come back for story reasons.
Yeah. So
and then that's when you get it. But it doesn't tell you that.
No, and so it's like, okay, where is it at? Oh no, it's literally like, which is why the few times we had to look it up, where it's like, okay, no, you have to wait till your second visit or whatever before you can pick that up, which is so fixable, because all you would need to do is just make the total be what's already available, and then when on your second visit, then just change it to be like, okay, these are now, like, there's extra stuff available because you can go to other parts of the map you couldn't go to before. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And so we ended up,
that would be a good fix.
Yeah, trucking around on this swamp planet with poison water areas, trying to find out how to get onto this.
I went to places you weren't supposed to go.
No, definitely. The game literally stopped him and was like, "You're at the edge of the map."
There are places where there's like clearly like things you can swing on, things you can do. And I'm like fucking hurtling towards those places. I'm like, that's where the golden nut is. I'm just gonna get over there. And then you get there, you can't there's you just die.
Yeah, it feels like you're in a
no.
Yeah, it feels like you're in an abandoned what is it like carnival or roller coaster place where it's like the events should be happening, but it's just like like a weird skeleton of setups for things that probably happen the second
will
time
happen
you get there.
later.
Yeah.
But I'm like, motherfucker, I could see it. I could see the things that I'm supposed to be able to interact with.
Right.
Yeah, that is annoying.
But that's maybe like the biggest gripe. I think most everything else, I mean, I think
it was a little short.
I remember telling Matt like, I kind of felt bad that the game ended so quickly. Like I wanted to play more of it, but not like just do New Game Plus. Just like I wanted there to be more game, like actual game.
Yeah, more game.
But I think maybe another kind of sour note. Not really sour note. I don't know how to describe this, but in order to go back to get some stuff, you have to replay through sections that were story beats. Where it's like, okay, there's like an intensity to. There's one area where it's kind of like a strange sci-fi horror bit of the game where you're trying to avoid this creature that cannot be killed, and you're trying to sneak around in this like space station, and you're going through and you're like trying to avoid it and be really quiet and run away and like do all these things, and in amongst all of that, there's a part on the wall where you can like run up and then go into like a secret compartment, and then there's a collectible. And if you miss it, you have to just go back through it like you're being escorted through a ride that isn't working right now. Like you're just kind of going through the area again. And there's nobody to fight. You're just kind of like... I mean, sometimes there is. Sometimes there's like little like automatic, spawning people that you just kind of like either run past or take care of. But... And then just to go find that one thing, and then you have to leave, and you're like, okay, do I have to just like replay the level real quick? And you kind of have to sometimes. And so the couple times where we had to go back to get something, it kind of felt weird. But that was it. Like,
gotcha.
Having to go back to get something, or things being gated without telling you that it was gated, that was kind of strange. But the overall pacing of the story, going between planet to planet,
between Ratchet and Clank, between Ratchet and Rivet.
Yeah, those were all really smooth. Like the transitions, and like they had simultaneous storylines where they met up at like a good point in the story, and they kind of separated and did their own things, and like the amount of time it took you to do one thing with one person felt right for the amount of time it took you to do one thing with the other person. So when you met up, it felt like you did something significant on both sides, and and I think it happened like 2 or 3 times even. And the overall storyline was like, it wasn't anything that you couldn't kind of know what was going to happen, but it kind of didn't matter, It was like, it was still entertaining.
Yeah.
But that's what you get. Like, you're playing like a Ratchet and Clank game. Like it's not.
It's not Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to go in there.
Yeah, no.
Is the main character going to die at the end? Right. It's not going to happen. Or like, of course he's going to save the day, but like, it's just how is he going to save the day? And they even had.
I haven't played a.
Good.
I was going to say I haven't played a Ratchet and Clank since the PlayStation 2, but yeah, from what I've understood and understand of the series, it's not a very deep story game, but it's just like
it's just
cookie
fun.
cutter story, but fun. Yeah, exactly.
I will say that because of the whole, I guess I wouldn't really call it like the gimmick of the storyline, but it's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and essentially multiple universes are colliding into one, and so you have characters from like different places and stuff mixing together, which is why Rivet exists and all this stuff, right?
She's from a different dimension.
Yeah, she's from a different dimension.
Dimensions.
Yeah, sorry, it's dimensions, right? And so they were able to get that across and have it be like not a big deal, right? It made sense. They didn't go too deep into it, and they didn't feel like there was any crazy big holes, but it was also just kind of a fun game. So you kind of like you kind of let it get away with shit because it was more fun that way. There's a lot of stuff that was like it was just more fun to let it do like what it was doing. Yeah, it makes sense. A fun game.
As I get older in my ancient years of 30 years old, I find value in stories of any kind, or most kinds, really. You know, you don't always have to have like a really complex, deep story with every single media you consume. Sometimes it's just nice to have like a little, I don't know, just a fun little romp between people. You know, just a little adventure.
There's a couple of like good like moments where I'm like, I remember telling Matt, I don't know how to feel about this, but like there were some moments where they had some character development bits that I felt like were just like really like cool to have for like what is mostly a game geared towards younger people. Like the characters were going through something that I felt like was good to have in a game, like talking about like their identity and stuff like that. Like I don't know, it was just like it's I think it's what gave it more of that Pixar feel, you know? Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I feel that's
highly recommend it. It's really entertaining.
But yeah, it was good. Like it was like, you know, the graphics were crazy. The rifts, you just open the shit.
Oh yeah,
you could just like see the shit. Like it was nuts.
Yeah, imagine like the kind of effect you get from playing Portal, where you can look through one end of the portal and see through the other one, and it's like has that cool parallax where you're like, oh, there's a whole other thing in there, right? It's like that, but in this game,
but with graphics,
like really good graphics, and so
not on the source engine,
and there's no hesitation on the performance of the game. You open up a rift and you go into a different map sometimes, like whole different map, and there's no like it all loads in the background, so you don't even notice it. It just works, and it's very seamless, and they even put a whole mechanic around rift jumping as just like a platforming bit where you like rift jump to another part of the map, like a little ways away, and everything kind of like comes towards you, and like this really cool camera effect.
Yeah, I think that's what the coolest part about all that is, the like you're pulling the new world towards you.
Yeah.
Instead of like you like transporting there or whatever, you're like, oh, yoink, shoink.
It all felt very sleek.
And
there were a few times Matt got to things he shouldn't have gotten to, or like we didn't figure out what the actual like platforming solution was to get to something, but we figured out
the movement
different one.
Is very satisfying in that game.
Yeah.
So you can do some shit like I don't think it was intended. There's definitely a couple nuts that I got
where you didn't really go the route they were wanting you to, but you saw it and you're like, I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah. There's not a lot of invisible walls unless you're trying to find things that just don't exist.
Yeah.
But they give you a lot of leniency.
Yeah. When all the different platforming bits come together, it's really cool just to like see how it all like flows. Because you have like a shadow dash thing, and it's just like a lot of cool stuff.
Wave dashing, oh my god.
Yeah, I think what really did what they did well in the game was they took all the stuff that you earned in the first games, like a lot, because in the first game you have to earn like every tiny bit of movement, like your magnet boots and like your boosters and stuff like that. In this game, they assume all that shit exists, and they came up with other stuff on top of it. They just added movement, and so you like sometimes in games like this, they like de-level you.
They always like set you to 0.
Yeah, they didn't set you to 0 in the game. They set you to like where you were at the end of the first game, mostly. Like, I mean, besides like the weapons you were carrying. But all the movement options and like the little things that you had to unlock over time in the first game, I think is why it was kind of cool to play through the first game beforehand. You just like continue with all that same stuff, and it's just like, yeah, no, the character learned how to do it, so now he knows how to do it. But there's also like this other shit that you can do now, which is really cool that adds to it. So
yeah,
it's cool.
That's always a better version of of like adding stuff rather than like, oh no, all your powers are gone, and now you're gonna spend the whole game getting
I've crash landed on a planet, and my Magna boots are broke.
Right.
Gotta get new ones.
Yeah.
Like in the last game, you jumped into lava with them; they were fine.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, why are they broken now?
Yeah.
Did you not?
Well, you know, it's like a console. Like if you drop it 10 feet, it's fine. But if it falls over too hard, it breaks in half or something. You
Right.
know?
No,
Magna boots are just like consoles or other technology. It's just very, very finicky. Sometimes it's fine. Other times that you just did it in the wrong way. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good time. The game's a good time.
Good. Yeah, I think if I ever get a PlayStation 5, I'll probably pick that up and Demon Souls.
Demon Souls is phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a really good, like they just did such a great job redoing that game. We just watched most of a video talking about their process for it, and they just like get kind of that. I guess maybe they just respect the original like property well enough where they're just willing to take chances in the important places and keep things the same where they should have. And they really made choices that I don't know, just
good shit.
You play so many remakes where it's like, oh, they just made the graphics bigger, but all the same problems are there and stuff like that. But they went in and tried to really polish it up, and I think that's what made it so good. Is the polish they added to it as well. But
that makes sense.
Do you have any other games you want to talk about, Fizzcake?
Not really. I think I'll have a couple more by next time that we do this.
Yeah.
I'm working on a couple shorter games, but I don't want to really talk about them until I'm
don't reveal them yet. You got to keep them, save them for the pod.
I mean, I could talk about Monster Hunter, but like, it's fun.
It'll still be here next time.
Yeah, it'll definitely be here 2 weeks from now because I probably won't have beaten it.
Yeah,
because it's a fucking long game.
So that makes sense.
But yeah, so we're doing this in 2 weeks. Is that the plan? Or 3 weeks? Or
2 weeks, I think.
Is it 2 weeks?
Technically 2 weeks, but I think I'll be gone, so it'll probably be 3 weeks. I think.
Okay. The intended plan is 2 weeks, but depending on scheduling.
Basically, every other stream will be doing Slay the Spire or whatever video game, and then the next stream will be video game
bi-weekly.
So. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll play a group game 1 week and then do the podcast the next one and just go back and forth like that. We have an ending splash here, so we just pulled it up. It's got all of our information. Shit. It's got Fizzcake's information. You know where to find him there on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and it's got ours there as well. Neanderthal Gaming TV and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and then everything together. We got Constant Complete stuff there as well. We don't put everything out on. I think we're gonna be putting the podcast on the Constant Complete YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, and I also need to work on the last Slay the Spire thing, but yes, that will all be on. The YouTube. I don't. Maybe we'll go back to using the Twitch at some point, but for now, I'm fine with just streaming on your guys' thing, unless we hop off at some point. But
oh yeah, we're waiting.
Yeah, one of these years. No.
No.
Yeah.
If what we need to do is get into an Among Us lobby with all the big streamers. All right, we need to get on live stream fails.
We do need to get on live stream fail, yeah.
That's easy.
Is it? Because
it's not. It's basically like it's like
specific people.
It's like the top 15 streamers circle.
Well, yeah, it's
like
not really live stream fail. It's the top.
We don't have to name all of the 15 streamers.
I could. No, I'm just kidding.
We could just say the top 15. I think people know.
Oh my god.
But yeah. So check us out there. Of course, all the same information is going to be in the description down below. But any last words? Anything else you wanted to say?
No, thank you, Ed, for watching. I think you're gone now, but thank you for watching. And if you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching the VOD. And thank you, boys, for doing this with me again. It's fun to always talk video games with you.
For sure. Yeah,
it's all right.
We've decided.
It's fine.
Well, fuck you.
This is like the days gone of podcasts.
Well, yeah, no, that's probably giving it too much credit, but yeah.
It's an okay. We got charm.
All these motherfuckers do is pirate podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Pirate podcasts. Oh god.
Imagine someone pirating podcasts. Like, they're all free, but like, imagine someone be like, "Nah, I'm gonna download it."
I could download it on iTunes conveniently, or I could go to this other site.
Rip it off of YouTube directly.
Although there's some weirdness going on with Spotify. They're trying to exclusivize some people, which is a little strange. But
yeah, they're Epic Gaming the podcast market.
Podcast, yeah.
But I don't give a shit, so fuck them.
Hey, if they want to approach us and Epic Game us too, we'll get Epic Gamed in no time.
Oh yeah, I'll sell out any day. It's no. I have no morals really. So
I have morals. They just align with that idea.
Turns out we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Money is the morals. Okay. Yeah. That's it on my side. Unless you guys want to say anything.
No. Yeah. Thanks everyone so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye.